Top of the league, ole ole. Top of the league, ole ole. Top of the league, top of the league, top of the league, ole ole. I mean, I was waiting until this day for I don't know how long. I don't know how long. Today's awakening from my sleep was one of the best awakenings of my life. It was. And you know what the best thing is? The best thing is it means absolutely nothing. But it's just the fact that it means absolutely nothing and how everyone is so pissed about Roma being first that makes it even more special. I mean, I honestly, hand on heart, today has been one of the best mornings of my life. And you know what makes it even better? I don't have classes on Monday. So for me today, I woke up at like 9 a.m. I had my breakfast, my cereal, and I was like, oh my days, this is the best day of my life. It really is. I wanted a draw in yesterday's Milan derby, but a Milan win is what happened. I think Milan won that game in the most Allegrian way ever. Allegri was meant to do one thing in that derby, and he did. Do I think Milan deserved to win that game? No, but they've been perfect in big games this season, and they definitely deserve credit. Another team that deserves credit, which again I'm seeing. I want to speak about this because honestly, it makes me so frustrated. I'll be biased because I'm a Roma fan and I don't like this. But it frustrates me to read so many people say and discredit this team. I mean, you can like it or not. Again, I've said this yesterday and I'll repeat it again. You can like this or not. You can think that this is deserved or not. You can, again, be and support whatever club you want. But honestly, I think if you don't give us credit, you're a loser. You're a loser. And I think if you don't give us credit and yet focus on us every time, it means you're obsessed. Honestly, I think a team that over the course of the entire solar year since Ranieri picked it up to now is first by far in the Serie A. I think, how do you not give us credit? I mean, how do you not give us credit? I don't like this. I find it so frustrating. And I said this yesterday. It means nothing that we're first right now. Absolutely nothing. So all those Lazio fans, all those Napoli fans, all those Juve fans, everyone that doesn't like us being up there, don't worry, because it means nothing being first the 24th of November. But it means so much to us. I honestly, I think this team deserves credit, and I will never be tired of saying this. Because you're not first after 12 game weeks like this. There needs to be an element of a process. And I think this process started the second Ranieri picked us up. This process developed into Ranieri making this team into a winning mentality team. But this process is now continuing because of Ranieri's decision of appointing this manager. And I was watching Carissa's, Carissa, I said it many times, I think Carissa is the best journalist in the world, I would say. In Italy, he's my favorite one. He's a commentator, but he's also an opinionist. And he also has a YouTube channel where at the end of every game week, he gives his top 11 players of that game week. And he delves into each team and how they played in the game week. And before going live, which is why I was delayed today, I was watching his video and I think he's so smart. Like you can tell that his footballing IQ is higher compared to anyone else. He said that in this Roma team, Ranieri still deserves so much respect because the Gasperini decision is a decision coming from Claudio Ranieri. And when Ranieri repeated to us in every press conference last season how it was not sustainable for the club to keep himself for another season because they needed to start a process. And it wouldn't be good enough if Ranieri stayed another. Because there was a point last season where he was going so well that we all wanted him to stay another season, right? And he kept on saying to us and repeating to us how, trust me, it won't be sustainable in the long term, because a new manager needs to come in and plant his roots. And another season with me would be a wasted season, because I will be retiring within 2 years anyways, even if I do stay. So the decision of appointing Gasperini is a decision single-handedly coming from Claudio Ranieri. Okay, so not only did Ranieri change this team on the football pitch being a manager, but he's changing this team with his decisions. And what Carissa said, in my opinion, is incredibly important. There were two reasons as to why Roma is doing so well as a continuous process to what they did with Ranieri. And it's one between either Ranieri picked somebody up and decided Gasperini because he saw as Gasperini the perfect manager to close the circle that Ranieri started, or the other option is he either knew from the very beginning that Gasperini was going to be the new manager and he prepared this team for how Gasperini wanted to play. So he kind of pre-adapted to a Gasperinian system, and then whenever Gasperini took over, the team was ready to take off. Because what is inexplicable about this moment, and what I think is the thing that we were expecting the least, is the fact that it took us so little to adapt to Gasperini. You know, that's the thing which is very surprising. Because it's not surprising. I mean, it is surprising that Roma's first. It is. Because I think at the start of the season, nobody would have put us first in December, basically. 1 week until December. Nobody. So that's surprising. But in my opinion, the most surprising thing is the rapidity that these players had and took to adapt to Gasperini's system, which is the complete opposite of what they've been playing in past seasons. So part of me brings this dialogue and go, maybe Ranieri knew everything from the very beginning and prepared this team for that. So that when he took him over, they were already in an advanced position, okay? Because if it's not the case, then massive props to the players. Because I think being first with a new manager who plays a completely different system, which you've never played before, under such draining training sessions and training pre-camps this summer, you know, it means that your players which immediately entered in Gasperini's mind, and we know that it doesn't take much time. That it doesn't take little time. Look at him at Atalanta. It took him at least 3 years to start going. Now, again, we definitely weren't at the same level that Atalanta was when he picked them up, but we surely weren't the best team out there. I mean, we aren't. We still aren't, which is why we're not the favourites. Which is why everyone that worries about us, don't worry, because we're not the favourites. And if we were to win this league title, this would go off to be one of the most underdog crazy runs ever. But again, long way to go. But I did put an interesting poll on the fan forum today asking how much people were believing in the league title up to now. And I think the average response from 1 to 10 goes... I think the average response was a 5. So again, I would probably put myself as a 4/5 as well. And then I asked everyone on the fan forum how much your vote would change if you beat Napoli next Sunday. And I think everyone advanced by 1. I tend to agree. I think from 0 to 10, 0 being impossible, not even thinking about it, and 10 being certain, I'd put us on a 4. I'd put us on a 4. If you beat Napoli and prove to be more decisive in big games, then it can become a 5 before the end of the year. But again, it's because you know what the danger here is? The danger here is that at the end of the season, if we don't win the league but still get top 4, people will be very disappointed. That's the risk. The risk is that, and this is the danger. I think my advice to everyone, including me, would be treat the Scudetto as a dream and work on that top 4 as the reality. Because if you start treating the Scudetto as a potential reality, then if you don't win the Scudetto, which is very likely, but you do get Champions League football, you won't appreciate the fact that we got Champions League football enough. Because you'll be mad that we didn't win the league. Where I think you always need to remember what we were 365 days ago. You always remember what Ranieri picked this team from. And you always need to remember that this team hasn't qualified for the Champions League for the last, what was it, 8 years? So, not going immediately from a Europa League qualification to a Scudetto means an underdog run. There needs to be an element of process. I think Europa League qualification we got, next step is Champions League, and then the Scudetto. If you skip a jump, it will only be a miracle. And that's something that's the danger if you beat Napoli on Sunday. Because if you beat Napoli on Sunday, I mean, if you live close by and find cheap flights to Rome, book your flights for Sunday. And if you can find some tickets at the Olimpico, go for them. Because I think if you beat Napoli on Sunday, this city will realize that it can win the Scudetto. And again, that's where the danger will be. Because if you beat Napoli on Sunday, you're going to get launched in an incredibly illusioned heaven-like world. And that's the danger. I mean, I've said this on Instagram. I will say it again this week. We've got Midtjylland first, not to forget. But of course, the big game this week is that Napoli game. That Napoli game on Sunday is the biggest game that this football club has played since that Budapest final. I'm going to say that again. The Napoli game on Sunday is the biggest game that this football club has played since the Budapest final. And it's simply the truth. Because if you beat Napoli on Sunday, I can guarantee you that this city will flip. Will flip. And it's only November. But it will flip. I know this city too well. I've been living in this city for 20 years. I know this city too well. If we win on Sunday, this city goes on tilt. And that is the danger. Because then, if you really start to believe in it, and then it doesn't happen, but you do still get Champions League football, which was the objective this season, you'll be very pissed. So my advice is always treat that Scudetto as a dream. As a parallel universe that it would be incredible. Like, it would make 5-year-old you, or 5-year-old me in this case, the happiest kid on earth. But it's a dream. And as Gasperini said, dreams happen. Dreams are called dreams because they happen very, 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 very rarely. Okay? But look, other than that today, I just wanted to go through some comments, get what everyone's feelings are. I don't really have a topic to speak about today. I really don't. Because today was all about enjoying the fact that we're top of the league. Because the last time we were top of the league after 12 game weeks by ourselves was the 2013-2014 season with Rudi Garcia. The only news that I can give today is that Dybala and Bailey are back training with the group. Do I think they'll start on Sunday? No, but maybe they'll be ready for... do I think they'll start on Thursday for Midtjylland? No, but maybe they'll prepare themselves for the Napoli game. I don't want to speak about the Napoli game now for 2 reasons. 1, because we have a game in between. And 2, because there's going to be time to dedicate to that game with a match preview, with the press conference to understand the tension between the manager. So there will be videos focused on that game. I don't want to speak about that game because we need to win the Midtjylland game as well. The importance to get Europa League top 8 is very, very, very important. Very important. And the fact that we're leading the race in the league right now is not an excuse for me to abandon the Europa League. No, it's not. We need to continue on all paths, and then towards the end, maybe narrow it down. But as of now, you need to keep every path available. So yeah. That's what I would say. Okay, I'm going to read a few comments and then I'm going to dedicate this time to you guys and then I'll end it. I haven't really understood yet why Gasp got that red card. Do you know what he said? He said face of shit, basically in Italian. But that was after the red card. I think he got a red card because he protested about something, but he said it himself. I mean, the referee got it wrong because that wasn't the moment to give him a red card. If it was, if he had to get sent off, he had to get sent off for his protests after the referee gave that inexplicable penalty against Mancini. So the referee got it completely wrong yesterday. Completely wrong on every point of view. Start bench sell, Nico Paz, Ildiz and Orsolini, says Luca. Start Nico Paz, blindfolded. I think Nico Paz is the best player in the league. Nico Paz is unreal. Nico Paz is the Dybala after Dybala. And I honestly think, well, you know what I think about Dybala? A fit Dybala, in my opinion, in terms of pure class and pure technical football, is the best player in the league. But I understand that with his fitness, he can't be the best player in the league. Best player in the league, for me, is Nico Paz. So I start Nico Paz every day of the week in that list. The other two is hard because I think Ildiz is more talented, but Orsolini is more consistent. And Ildiz is less consistent in a better team on paper. Orsolini is more consistent on a team which on paper is worse than Juventus's. So it's hard. It's hard to say. I think when it comes to... it's hard because I think Ildiz, in terms of pure talent, I'd put Ildiz. But consistency, I'd put Orsolini. I think Ildiz is a bit of a victim of the Juventus period because I think he could perform way better every time, but he's a bit inconsistent also due to the fact that Juventus are disastrous at the moment. Seymour, are you brave enough to take a seat at the round table on the Tutto Calcio pod? It sounds like a torture, but send me an email on the email down below if you want to organize these things. It will depend on time zones. If you're not in Italy. It will depend a bit on my schedule because I do have exams and other things going on. So absolutely, if we can find the time, yes, but we'll have to see. But send me an email if you're interested. We need to not lose versus Napoli. Ideally a win, but we'll draw will keep us top of the league. We need to win. Speaking about Scudetto, you need to win. If you want to win the Scudetto, you need to win on Sunday. Because you can't win the Scudetto without winning at least one big game. So if we're speaking Scudetto, you need to win. If we're speaking top four, a draw isn't bad. But you need to take advantage of this Napoli moment. My hair is a mess today. It's been raining all day, so my hair is kind of been wet. What I love about this Roma team this season is that we rather win or lose than draw a game. This morning I felt so great. Even woke up early. I mean, even through the injuries, striker problems, bad refs, and much more, Roma is still pulling this off. Love this channel. Thank you very much. Imagine the second half of the year is similar to how it was last season. We can dream. We need to add. In January, much of what we can do, I've said it already, depends on what we add in January. After 12 games, there is no luck. There is a pattern. We are here by getting the points we should get in the league, except Torino. I really like how each game, though, you see improvement throughout the entire squad. First place after 12 games without consistent strikers. No Dovbyk, no Evan, no Dybala, no Bailey. That's incredible. Mancini and Cristante always worked well under Gasperini. Simo in the last video said Evan has 3 games to prove himself. Last game he had a goal and the disallowed goal. What is needed from him in the next 2 games? Goals. Very simple. Goals. Goals. Absolutely. Thursday is a good game to click even more. It's not an easy game. We'll speak about Thursday's game tomorrow, but it's the games where you expect these strikers to click even more. Part of me always thought that Ranieri knew he could get Gasp. We pressed more under Gasp, but the formation is exactly the same. Still miss Ninja Nainggolan. Mate, he was my idol. Ranieri brushed up Chileka. I have a question to everyone. I know it's still only November. Would you rather have a Scudetto or the Europa League? Scudetto. At least Roma have Gasp and Ranieri. Ranieri is very good at managing expectations. Yildiz does raise Juve and really does create those chances. Yeah. I mean, I don't agree. I don't agree with the fact that he's erasing Juventus. Because Juventus have changed 3 managers and are playing exactly the same and they're not winning games. So, to say that he raises Juventus means that Yildiz himself would win them games. He's incredible. I'm not doubting his abilities, but I'm not sure if I agree with the statement that he's raising Juventus. In specific games, he is. I look at that Inter game, yes. But maybe he can give more shocks to the team by himself. That's just my thought. Anyways, guys, I'm going to end it here. I'm going to catch you tomorrow for the Midtjylland match preview. Big week ahead. Big 2 games. Midtjylland on Thursday. Napoli on Sunday. In what is the biggest game since the Budapest final. Hit the like. Hit the like because we're top of the league. Top of the league, ole ole. Top of the league, ole ole. Top of the league, top of the league, top of the league, ole ole. I'll catch you tomorrow. Simo out.